Hello students, welcome back. Today I am Anuradha from Ardent Progressive School, going to start another topic, or we can say another chapter here in the revision lecture. So chapter 3rd, human reproduction. So students, we know that how the reproduction takes place in case of plants. Sexual reproduction we have done in chapter 2. So now in this chapter 3rd, we will discuss that how the reproduction takes place in humans, animals, right? So here we will understand that first of all, what is reproduction? It means that to produce again and again, to produce again and again the copy here. And here we are talking about the human. So that's why the chapter name is human reproduction. So how humans, they are producing their generation again and again. And we know that the reproduction takes place here, that is sexual reproduction. So now, what is the sexual reproduction? Where there should be two gametes. One should be male gamete and another should be female gamete, right? So male gamete as well as female gamete must be there. So here we have divided this chapter into some steps, we can say here, that are first of all gametogenesis. Okay, gametogenesis means gameto relates to what? Gametes. Genesis means to form. So for any sexual reproduction, what is the requirement? There must be two gametes. So first of all, we will study that how there will be gamete formation in case of male as well as females. It's just like we have done in case of plants also, right? In case of plants also, we have done that how the pollen grains develops and how the ovum. So here we will understand about the how sperms will form, spermatogenesis, and how egg will form, it is known as oogenesis. So both will come under what? Under the gametogenesis, right? Now comes to the insemination. Once the gamete formation has been done, okay, so the sperm, which is a male gamete, it will move towards the female gamete, and it will release the sperms into the female genital tract. So what is that condition? It is the insemination. Insemination is what? Inserting the semen inside the female genital tract, right? Now comes to the next one. When it will reach inside the female genital tract, it will reach up to the fallopian tubes where the fertilization will takes place, right? So fertilization is what? The fusion of male and female gamete. It is known as fertilization, and which leads to the formation of what? Zygote. Okay, now the zygote will get divided, and the division which will take place here, it is known as the cleavage. Okay, so the term we will use here in this division, that is the cleavage. So cleavage will take place and it will form the ball like structure, or we can say some different cleavage or some division. There will formation of embryo. Now that embryo will get implanted into the mother's womb or the female's womb, the embryo get planted. So that one is known as the implantation. Now here it will remain for some period of time for the nutrition and for the maturation. That period is known as the gestation period, and it varies from in case of human beings it is different, and in case of animals it is different, right? So as we are focusing in the chapter of human reproduction, so we know that gestation period for human beings or for the females, that is the 9 months, right? Now comes to the last word, parturition. Parturition is that method or the process by which there will be delivery of the or of the particular fetus, right? So here we can say that we have divided this chapter from gametogenesis to up to the parturition. So here one by one we will start with our topic. Okay, now comes to that point that if we are talking about the human beings, how the sexual reproduction takes place. Condition is sexual reproduction. Second condition is that there must be a sexual dimorphism. Okay, so in case of human beings, what is there? Sexual dimorphism is two sex, they are different in their morphology, right? As well as they are viviparous also. Okay, so oviparous were the those who are laying the eggs, but viviparous, those laying their they are not laying the egg, they are giving birth to their young ones. So human reproduction is what? It's part of viviparous, right? So we will start with the first we can say process, that is a gametogenesis, in which we will discuss about the formation of male gamete as well as female gamete. So today we are going to start with the first one, that is a male gametogenesis. But again for the male gametogenesis or the production of sperm, what is the requirement? There must be a requirement of the male reproductive system. Okay, so the whole male reproductive system will be helpful for the production of sperms here. So what are the things which are involved in the system? We will discuss here in 4. That are they? What are they? Number 1, a pair of testes. Okay, a pair of testes and accessory ducts. Accessory means addition to it. Okay, there are testes, but addition to it, what are the ducts which are responsible for helping it, right? Then comes to the accessory glands also, which are connected there, and at last you will study the external genitalia, right? So all they will form the male reproductive system. So what we have to start today, we will start with the first one, that is the testes, right? Testes are what the, if I will discuss about some of the characteristics and how they are situated, they are situated at outside the abdominal cavity. Okay, abdomen is what, the lower part of the stomach, right? So here the testes or the pair of, because it always it always present in form of pairs, 2 testes are there, right? So here what will happen, that they are situated outside the abdominal cavity, and if you will see the structure of this one, it is situated outside some structure, okay, or we can say within a pouch like structure. So testis is always present where, within a pouch like structure, which is known as what, scrotum. Again this term is very important. Scrotum is what, scrotum is what, inside which testes are situated, right? Now third point, that it maintains the low temperature. See here, as they are present inside the scrotum and they are just away from the body. Okay, this scrotum is just now hanging here, and they are maintaining the temperature. Why they are outwards to the body? Because they have to maintain less temperature, or we can say they will maintain 2 to 3 degrees Celsius less temperature as compared to the human body temperature. Okay, why it is so? Because for the production of sperm, the temperature should be lower down. Okay, so here what will happen, the scrotum will maintain the low temperature for the production of sperms, right? Now comes to the shape is oval shaped, right? And if I will talk about the length is 4 to 5 centimeter and width is 2 to 3 centimeter. It's just that these data for memorization here. That now again another point is that this structure is surrounded by some protective covering. Okay, the scrotum, if I will talk about this pouch like structure, and inside this pouch like structure, what is there, that testes are present here. So how they are situated, they are situated like that, they are covered by some covering which is known as the tunica. What is it? It is the tunica, and again they are having 3 different layers. This tunica having 3 layers. What are they? The outer one, tunica vaginalis, and tunica albuginea, and the third one, tunica vasculosa. Okay, so you have to memorize all these 3 layers of tunica. That are they? Tunica vaginalis, tunica albuginea, and tunica vasculosa, right? Now comes to the point about the internal structure. Outside it is there is a covering, but internally they are having different compartments. Okay, internally if you will go for the cross section of the testes, you will see that there are how many, 250 compartments are there. For like this they are having 250 compartments, right? 250 compartment, and these are known as what, testicular lobules. What you will call it, testicular lobules. So they are having 250 compartments, which is known as testicular lobules. Now and each lobule, inside each lobule, what is there, there is a highly coiled form structure which is known as the seminiferous tubules. Okay, so inside this lobule, what is there, highly coiled seminiferous tubule, and this seminiferous tubule is what, it is very important because it is the structural and functional unit of testis. If in your exam question will come here that what is the structural and functional unit of testis, you will call it seminiferous tubules. exactly you have done in case of excretion system. What is the functional unit? Nephron is the functional unit, right? So likewise here also seminiferous tubules is there. Now these tubules are lined on its outside by two things. What are they? Male germ cells, which are nothing, which are the spermatogonia, and later on it will form what? It will form the male gametogenesis. So here what is that there? Two things are there: male germ cells, which is exactly spermatogonia, and second thing is Sertoli cells. Sertoli cells are what? They are providing nourishment here, right? So Sertoli cells, what they are doing? They are giving the nutrition. Now, if you will see this seminiferous tubule, outside the seminiferous tubule, some spaces are also there, okay? Some spaces are also there, and there you can see that they are made up of some blood vessels and the interstitial. Interstitial means the spaces which is present between the cells here. So all of them, the blood vessels are there, and interstitial cells are there, which is known as the Leydig cells. What we call it? Leydig cells. And what is the role of Leydig cells? They are responsible for releasing, or they are responsible for synthesis and secretion of the hormone, right, which is forming in the testes, and that one is known as androgen. So androgen hormone can be done by the this Leydig cells, okay. So this is about what? About the first part which you have covered, testes. Now comes to the accessory ducts. Here I'm talking about the duct. Ducts means what? They are having some, we can say, way, or there will be some passage through which there will be a secretion, right? So there, what are these accessory ducts in case of male reproductive system? We will start with the different types, and here question is what? The question is that how you are relating, how you know about the steps. So here we will understand that we have done that seminiferous tubule has been formed here, right? And with the help of these lobules, now these seminiferous tubule, which are in very coiled form, they will what they will do, they will form a united, or they will get united to form a single lobe, which is known as the vasa recta. Okay, this vasa recta is same which we know in case of excretion system also. So here what is there, that all the seminiferous tubule in each lobule, they will get united, and what they will form, they will form the vasa recta here, and these tubule which has been united here, they will again form a network of tubule. Okay, earlier also they are coiled, but now they will form the network of these tubule, which is known as the retitestes. What do you call it? Retitestes. And this is formed of what? The epithelial cells. And what type of epithelial tissues they are? Cuboidal epithelial tissue. Okay, now after this, from this retitestes, what will happen? Some more tubules will arise, or we can say 10 to 25 fine tubules will arise, and what they will form? They will form the vasa efferentia. Okay, what they will form? Vasa efferentia, and which will open where? Into the epididymis. Okay, again epididymis is what? These are the highly coiled structure, but they are situated at the posterior surface, and there is what? At the front part posterior, that the in the next part. So the posterior surface of testes, what you will call, what you will see here, that they are highly coiled tubules, and which is known as the epididymis. Okay, now this epidermis leads to the vas. So what is it? This part is what? Whatever I have taught you right now, it is present inside the testes. Now you can see epidermis is there, and this epidermis is leading towards the vas deferens. Okay, vas deferens is what? It is the sperm tube. What is it? It is the sperm tube through which sperm will move here. So epidermis, what it will lead? It will lead to the vas deferens, and this vas deferens is what? Which is hanging here. You can see the structure. This is ascending to the abdomen, and wherever the urinary blood is there, they are looping itself, right? Now next step is what? Vas deferens. This vas deferens, what is it? This vas deferens, which is the sperm tube, or which carries the sperms, this receives a duct. Okay, again this will receive a duct from the seminal vesicle, and again the seminal vesicle is very important. Why? It will form the ejaculatory duct. Ejaculatory duct means that how their ejaculation has been done. So this seminal vesicle, what it will form? It will form the ejaculatory duct, and which will runs throughout the prostate gland, and where it will open? It will open into the urethra. And urethra is what? Urethra is the duct where it will get the secretion from the prostate gland as well as the bulbourethral gland, and after that through the penis it will move outside. And what is that opening? You will call it here urethral meatus. What you will call? Urethral meatus. So what is my concern here in this human or the male's reproductive system, that what is that sequence? We know that it will start from where? From the testis. Inside the testis, testes are inside which? Inside the scrotum. Then after that scrotum, tunica is there. Then in this different compartments are there, testicular lobules, and each lobule having the some coil structure which is known as seminiferous tubule. Now again, if I will continue it, in seminiferous tubule, they will get united and form the vasa recta. And due to this, again some more unity, what will happen? They will form the red testes, and then again some coiling will take place. It will form the vasa efferentia. Then this vasa efferentia opens into the epidermis. Then with the help of this vas deferens, it will move towards the ejaculatory duct and opens into the urethra, then into the urethral meatus. So this is the sequence which you have to understand and which you have to memorize for examination, because it can be asked in any time that how the sperm is moving in the male reproductive system. So here today we have completed about the two parts. What are they? Testes and accessory duct. So in the later class we will study that what are these glands which are responsible here to secrete something, right? So that's all for today. Thank you.